Right, so I'm going to do a little bit on the ash trees now, and then I'm going to click forward a couple of months till when the leaves come off. Right, this is another of my ash dieback videos. So I'm down my lower fields checking the cattle. Hello, are you okay? And I'm going to put two bits of video into one here because I just thought I'd capture autumn now with the ash trees, because as I said before, this is a video really as much for me as it is for you guys. I want to capture the ash trees on the farm while I've still got them. I did quite a long video, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, just going around looking at some of the ash trees with dieback. There's a big one over there, look. Beautiful big tree over there. Don't know how long that's got. And hello heifers. And these here, looking sick. Looking very sick. So I'm going to look at those in a minute. But I'm here for autumn as well. And it's that time of year where everything's starting to fruit, isn't it? So look, we got the hawthorn berries here. Never found anyone who made anything out of these. Don't know whether you can make any jelly or something. Not really edible. They've got a big pip in the middle. The birds poo these out. There's a stone in the middle, and that's how they reproduce. Look at that big chunky stone. Then we got the old sloes here. This is the blackthorn bush. These what I used to kid my parents when I was young. I go, have a grape, Dad, and they're not. They're sour as hell. So if I squeeze that, oh, it's juicy. In the middle of there's a big stone that just popped out. It's like a plum stone, really. These are what you. Oh, that one's just popped out. My hands are all wet and slippery now. They're very juicy, aren't they? So what you do is you can either freeze these and put them in the freezer for a night and then get them out, or you can prick them all and you put them into gin and leave them till Christmas. And there's some rose hips. Where are the rose hips? I don't think it's died back a bit, that one there. Look, I don't know what's happened. Oh, look, here's some rose hips. Beautiful rose hips. Can make rose hip jelly. I think they used to collect them in World War II to make syrup or something. I can't remember the exact thing. And then, of course, you got the blackberries as well. So, all in all, the hedgerows are really coming alive here, you know, and honestly, I can honestly say that in my 2-year rotation of hedge trimming, that makes a massive difference to the fruits on the hedge. Second year growth on hedges, as I've said many a time, creates this fruit, load of fruit for the birds. We'll just talk about this because it's the ash keys that are worth looking at. So we got this tree here. This one's definitely on the way out, I think. But look at these ash keys, I call them. Let's get closer. So I guess they're like a bunch of keys. Now, the ones on the left have already sort of ripened and gone dry, and I guess they'll fall to the ground, and that's what new ash trees come from. These here aren't actually ripe yet. If you look at them, there's a real covering on here. Can you see that? They hang in massive bunches. There's a good example there, look. Big bunches of seeds. And it occurs to me that not many people will see these if these ash trees all die out. Again, something you take for granted. Ash keys on there. Now, if anyone's a botanist here, you can explain to me what goes on with ash keys, because what I find is that certain trees are absolutely loaded with them, like this one here is loaded. This one behind me has got a certain amount of ash keys. I mean, look at these falling to the ground. Right, and then we go around here, the ash trees around here don't seem to have any on them. So not obvious on here there's any ash keys at all. On this tree here at all. Or maybe there's just a few on there, but hardly a covering. Same with this tree here. Another one that's looking very sick. So So I can't quite understand it. I mean, if you explain to me why some trees have more ash keys on than others, is it a male and female? I don't know. I know enough about it. In the spring, they put out these little sort of tusks, which are probably the ash keys just starting to form in the spring. But is it male and female trees? I don't know. I could Google that, I guess. But it's quite nice to have a shout out to you guys. It's something I've not taken a lot of interest in until I started looking around at my ash trees on the farm, thinking, they're going to die soon because of ash dieback. And suddenly I started noticing that some trees are absolutely covered in ash keys and others don't seem to have any. Or this one here, like, it's got like, I'm not even sure whether that, yeah, it's got like 6 or something. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so we're heading into autumn. The autumn fruits are coming out now. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me. Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Reverse mode. Beep 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 beep. It's funny, isn't it? Everyone, if you know your own cattle, you're not worried, but a lot of people would be quite scared of that bunch of cattle. And I understand it, not everyone's comfortable with animals. Right, so what I'm gonna do now, so I'm doing this video in the beginning of September, and we've got the ash keys on the trees. As you can see, there's no real sign of autumn in the leaves on the trees. But do you know what? There is nothing better than going through a load of ash leaves when they all fall at once, because they usually form a lovely bright yellow carpet. And look, here's one loose ash tree leaf, one random one that's come off. Whether that's because of the disease, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. Let me just scratch my nose with that a minute. Scratchy. Right. I'm going to fast forward and we're going to go through the leaves and have a bit of a laugh with the leaves, I think, because how many more years will I be able to run through the leaves of an ash tree? Let's have a look. Crack on. Right, let's go to the leaves. Autumn. Nice. Alright, further updates on the ash trees. So here we are, September the 29th I think it is today. And look at this big branch has just come off this ash tree. Come off there, look, it's snapped off up there. Can you see that? Just that one branch. Now, I don't know whether that's because of ash dieback, but this tree's definitely got it. Can you see the dead? You can see the dead branches on there, can't you? It's just starting to die off. And I'm wondering if this is a symptom of ash dieback. A perfectly healthy limb apparently come down. I don't know whether that. It's been down a few days. It's sort of dried out a bit. So I don't know whether that's come down because of ash dieback and the fact that the branch might have died on the inside, but I'm pretty sure that is my future on this farm for the next few years, is finding the trees are dying, but also the limbs coming off like that. Quite dangerous really, isn't it? Because they're going to become brittle and dead, and the tree doesn't always blow down, so I imagine that straight away anyway, I imagine the limbs will come down like that. I mean, this is a lovely old ash, this one. Look at this. This has been pollarded in the past. You can see where the pollard line is there. They would pollard that for either firewood or for gate posts and stuff like that. And then it was a brilliant ecological way of maintaining a tree, because it would just shoot back out, grow again, and then it would you'd do a crop of wood off it again. Now, obviously, at some point, probably in the 1950s, probably it would stop being pollarded, because people could then buy stakes and stuff off the not off the internet in the 1950s, off from companies abroad, and also you could probably buy firewood without less people having open fires, I guess. So sort of pollarding stopped. You see that one's been done the same, and that one as well, pollarded there. Look. But it's a windy day. I probably shouldn't be stood under here. If that was one branch going, there's going to be some more. Right, it's very windy. I don't know how much you can hear on here. I'm going to spin this round now, because I'm going to show you one of the joys of what I see on the farm, and this is the wildlife. And if I spin it over there, over really far away, can you see over there on that tree, on that gate? Look at that. 3 beauties, 3 herons. It's not very easy. They're very far away, so the quality of the picture is not very good. I'm going to see if I can get closer. They might fly off. So I'm very lucky to have wildlife like this on the farm. Ultimately, it's quite interesting, you know, that livestock farming gets attacked all the time for the environment and carbon footprint and all this stuff. And I said it many times, people do not look at the bigger picture. Because the reason those herons are here is because I have got ponds on the farm which were used originally for drinking for cattle, and they're no longer used for drinking for cattle because we've got mains water now, but they were dug. Oh look, they're going now, look, they're off. They're off. They've decided it's too dodgy. One stayed. They're over the hedge. One, oh no, it's off. Where is it? There it is. They're very suspicious of people. So they're here because of the ponds left on this farm from the cattle, from the days when there was no mains water and cattle would have to drink water from the ponds. Now I've enhanced those ponds under higher level stewardship, got grant funding to clean them out, restore them, fence them off, keep them safe, keep them with water in, provide a wonderful habitat for wildlife. And the thing is, you don't think about it, I've shown you many a time the frog spawn on the ponds, but what you don't think is that frog spawn is also beneficial to things like herons. So although it's nice to have the frogs, it's also creating lunch for herons. And I know for a fact that those herons hatched a chick, at least one chick here this year. So one of those is hatched on the farm this year. So one thing leads to another, because those ponds would not be there without livestock. I wouldn't have enhanced them without having livestock on this farm. That the frog spawn's there because I've enhanced the pond. The herons are there because of the frog spawn. So how about that? It's a lovely cycle, and there's a lot of things. I can give you further examples of that with livestock, that it's all part of a ecosystem that people just ignore and they don't want to mention. They just want to go on about carbon, you know. Anyway, right, I'll be back here when it's autumn and these leaves are golden brown, because that'll be the last look at the ash trees this year. But for now, they're not quite golden brown and they're shedding branches. Well, here we are in the final part of this video of kind of look at the ash tree, and I'm into the end of November now, and I'm looking at what you call in America fall, or what we call autumn, when all the leaves come down. And I just thought, do you know what, I'll come down and have a look at the ash tree with the leaves down. But it's quite funny, they've come off, but they're not the golden colour I thought they would be. It's been a funny autumn. Let me have a look, let's just show you. So we've got, there's probably the best example there. Look, but they're still quite green even though they're coming off the tree. Oh look, I was just literally come off there. Look, they're falling off as I play with them. Autumn is coming here. Look at that. The tree's just going. Let me just see if I can find a better one that is whole. Because the thing about ash trees, look, I mean, that's a really gnarled, not a very good one. Let me find a nicer one. There we go. Let me pick this one up. I like the way the leaves form. We take this for granted, don't we, with trees? We don't look at them. They're just there. And then suddenly, like this ash dieback thing makes me then think what I would miss when or if all these ash trees go on the farm. And I love the fact that in the autumn they shed these big leaves. Not you know, normal trees like an oak tree or beech or something sheds one leaf at a time, but these come off in a whole length like that, which I don't know whether that makes it unique to the ash tree, but certainly it's different from many other tree species. And I'm looking up here, the keys that we looked at in the other video, earlier part of the video, were all bright green, but they're still on here now. There's a few I can see just up there, but they're sort of a brown colour now. They've died back. the ash leaves, they're still green on the trees in fact, but it seems like only half the trees died off with autumn. This branch came down earlier in the year. This is a good old ash tree, this one's been pollarded. You can see the crown there where it was cut before for timber and then let shoot out again. Hasn't been pollarded for a number of years. But the other interesting thing is we always have this thing saying oak before ash, we shall have a splash. Now that always is the indicator of when the leaves come out. So if the oak tree comes out in leaf before the ash, oak before ash, we shall have a splash, not much rain. But I never hear anything about that in the autumn when the leaves fall. And if you look at this ash tree here, fairly well, quite a high percentage of the tree leaves are off. But if you pan around to the oak over there, still pretty well covered. And there's another oak. You can see the oak over there, look. Over there, that's another oak, and that's still covered. So, you know, whether the oak really keeps its leaves longer or whether it's anything to do with the autumn we've had or whatever, but it's interesting to see that most of the ash trees around the farm are shedding their leaves now. So yeah, so here we are. That was a bit of a composite of little bits I filmed sort of late summer and now, just about the ash tree. You know my passion for trees. I am worried that these ash trees are all going to be gone within a few years. I really don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep you posted. I will be doing an ash dieback update regularly on this channel, just because of my own interest. And it's farming history, isn't it? It's farming history. We're in a kind of a change with this horrible disease. Elm tree, Dutch elm disease was that change in the 70s. We're into the 20s now. Who knows where we're going with this. On the bright side, and I always like to end on a bright side really if I can. So my calendar sales have gone really well this year. There's still a few left. If you'd like a calendar, you can get them at richardcornock.co.uk/shop. Some of the money from that, I'm going to buy some trees. I'm going to be giving them out in the spring, well January actually, around the country to people, UK, to people to plant, because I'm kind of trying to do my little bit for the environment, and also it's 40 years of farming for me next year, so we'll kind of do something to celebrate that. I think that's going to be, I'll be announcing that, all the details about that in a video in January. So from maybe a kind of sad time with the ash tree to let's have some positivity, I'll be trying to put something back to the countryside so we can all crack on together, can't we? Anyway, yeah, stay tuned, see you soon. My ash trees.